Hug the cactus? Wait, hug what? A cactus? Okay, sounds strange, right? But this one phrase, hug the cactus, can be a turning point. And when you hear what it really means, you might just change your life too. At his absolute lowest, Robert Downey Jr. was done. Hollywood had written him off. He'd lost everything, his career, his reputation, even his freedom. And then Mel Gibson, of all people, gave him advice that changed his life forever. He said, you need to hug the ugly inside of you. Let's rewind for a minute. Robert Downey Jr. wasn't always the superstar we know him to be today. He had talent, sure. He was young, charming, Hollywood royalty. But behind the scenes, a mess. Drugs, arrests, rehab after rehab. By 1999, he was waking up in jail cells more than in movie trailers. Hollywood had given up on him. He was called uninsurable. Imagine that, being one of the most talented actors of your generation, and nobody wants to take a risk on you anymore. But there was one person who didn't give up on him, Mel Gibson. Now, Mel wasn't exactly a saint himself, as we all know. He's had his own struggles, but he saw something in Robert Downey Jr. that no one else saw. And instead of just giving him money or empty words, he gave him his philosophy, hug the cactus. But what does that even mean? Mel explained, if you hug the cactus long enough, you'll become a man of humility and life will take on new purpose. That's pretty deep, but what does it mean? Let's break it down. The cactus is the pain you're running from, the shame, the guilt, the past mistakes, your trauma, everything we try to hide from the world. And hugging it, that means facing it, owning it, sitting with the discomfort instead of numbing it. And here's the wild part. When you do that, the pain doesn't just go away, it transforms you. And look, we all have a cactus in our lives. Maybe it's an addiction, maybe it's self-doubt, maybe it's the fear that we're not good enough. We bury it under work, distractions, even our own success. But the only person we're fooling is ourselves. Because ignoring the cactus does not make it disappear. It only makes the wounds deeper. And the crazy part, everyone else can already see it. You might think you're hiding it well, but the people around you know. So the question is, are you willing to hug your cactus? Because Robert Downey Jr. did. He faced his demons, he took responsibility, he did the work, real work, not just getting better for a movie role, but becoming a different man entirely. And then, well, Hollywood didn't just take him back. He became Iron Man, one of the biggest comebacks in entertainment history. Why? Because people love a redemption story. And more importantly, because he finally became the person he was always meant to be. If you're sitting there thinking, yeah, but I'm not rich, I'm not a famous movie star, I sure as heck don't know Mel Gibson to let me live in his house to hug my cactus in luxury with endless money to help me. I was really hurt as a child or as an adult. I'm alone and I have nothing. How is this relevant to me and my struggles? Well, let me tell you a story about a young boy who grew up in Rhode Island, a young boy who grew up in the projects, who came from horrific physical and mental abuse, a boy who it appeared had no chance but to become what he was being subjected to. That boy was me, and that story is mine. And I too was well on my way to becoming exactly how I was being treated, a victim, bitter, angry, alone, and thinking the world owed me everything. Until I had an epiphany, and I looked at my life, and I asked, is this what I want for my life? And the answer was no. So I began to reverse engineer my life. I started doing the opposite to others that was done to me. I rejected my broken instincts. And what I found was a brand new life. I began to realize something unbelievable. The qualities that I was most proud of in myself were born from the worst things that had ever happened to me. The lack of empathy I was given gave me an incredible capacity for empathy. The way I was made to feel worthless gave me the desire to make other people feel valuable. So I began to lean into my pain, and I became grateful for the pain I had endured because I discovered by doing so, it gave me an emotional intelligence that not only made it possible to change my life, but to positively impact the lives of those around me. See, I too hugged my cactus, and the result was a life so far from the one that was given to me that it seems nearly impossible to believe. And that's the real lesson here. When you hug the cactus, when you stop running from your pain and start facing it, no, embracing it even, your life changes. You change, and so do the lives of those around you. And that's when you realize that the things happen to us have the ability to destroy us or create us. So I'll ask you one more time. Are you willing to hug your cactus? Well, here we are at the end of another one of my videos, and I truly hope you enjoyed this one. And if you did, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. And if you didn't, well, as I love to say, subscribe anyways, and tell me what you didn't like or agree with, because either way, I will continue to make these videos and share my messages of resilience and positivity. But perhaps with your contribution, I can reach even more people.